evening, and thank you for coming out today and giving us your precious time. My name is Mascarelli, and this is my husband Rob, our daughter Ariana, and the hero of our story, Aidan. Aidan, like most kids, loves to dance, act, and plays the piano. He just recently started getting more involved in sport activities thanks to a medication adjustment that has resulted in symptom remission, which we have not been able to achieve for the past 5 years. Our journey with nephrotic syndrome, protein spilling from the kidneys, started in 2012 when Aidan was 2 years old. Like so many others, he was experiencing weight gain and swelling in the eyes. I can't forget what our very first nephrologist told us back then in the hospital room, which was, here's the medicine, which was steroids, and I hope it works. For those of you that don't know, prednisone was used in the 1950s as a treatment for this disease and continues to be the mainstay treatment for children and adults, even today, with symptomatic and active nephrotic syndrome. 60 years and no change. From age 2 to 4, Aidan would need high-dose steroids and transition from spilling massive amounts of protein to less severe spilling and back. The seesaw of constant relapses persisted despite having tried almost all of the present medical therapies available for children afflicted with this disease. He became steroid-dependent nephrotic syndrome. Aidan's tried almost all the treatments available to date and still remains dependent on daily meds to keep his nephrotic syndrome under control. Aidan has gone through many, many downs with this disease, its complications, and also side effects from the medications. He's missed many a days of school, birthdays, opportunities to play like a normal kid, as he always feels exhausted. He's encountered some bullying due to the way he looked on steroids, but remains strong and vigilant despite this. Finding NephCure Kidney International brought us hope and led us to better advocates for Aidan. Through the NephCure community, we've met some amazing community and my strong warrior kidney sisters like Kelly, Dana, Marlene, Andrea, Catherine, and not to forget our NephCure family of Deb and Josh and many others. Thank you for being there for us. Aidan has taught us all to fight with a smile and be your strongest self in the most toughest moments, and I'm forever grateful to you for those lessons, Aidan. Thank you. After many opinions and doctor changes, we have since been able to get off steroids thanks to one of the top NephCure specialists here in the Northeast. However, Aidan faced his first relapse again after a year, and he was recently put back on steroids this past September. He said to me, "Mom, I will do whatever you want me to and eat whatever you say. Please don't put me back on steroids." We don't know what it feels like, and most young kids can't relay much. However, those words say a lot. I'm just a mom. I'm worried. I need you all. This is a tough drug. It comes with its mental and physical brutal side effects. It's a double-edged sword. NephCure has gone from 2 to 28 clinical trials towards finding a cure. Funding for research and clinical trials are the only way we will be able to find an alternative to steroids as a treatment today. The long-term effects of steroids is troublesome, and this is why we advocate. With NephCure and all of you here today, nephrotic syndrome will never have us, and we will find a cure. I ask you a question today. Can you imagine what it is like to go from one drug to another, to one side effect to another, with no end in sight? I do. Now I hand over to my amazing husband, Rob, to say a few words. Thank you for your time.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming. Many of us here tonight have experienced or heard firsthand from family and friends about the challenges and life-altering events a family and patient endures while working through nephrotic syndrome. I'm sure many of you were out in the cocktail hour area and saw some of the placards and posters out there talking about the various families and what each individual has been going through. Relationships at home and at work are tried and tested to the extreme. Along with this, we see loved ones encounter complications, tiring moments, unanswered questions, and the fear that one day things could get worse and not better. While many patients afflicted with nephrotic syndrome look well, an ongoing onslaught to the kidney is taking place. A battle between the body's immune system and one of the most important vital detoxifying organ systems we know as the kidneys. But today, I want to change gears and talk about the beautiful side I see in this horrible disease known as FSGS and nephrotic syndrome. When I look back, I see in the hospital the compassion and empathy from a doctor who waits 1 hour with my wife and I while our 2-year-old is escorted into the operating procedure room as we nervously wait for a kidney biopsy to be completed. Online, a slew of supportive online questions answered by a NephCure community of parents and patients. Over the phone, a long-distance friend in Chicago who also has a son with nephrotic syndrome that stops everything to answer a call. When the protein spilling resumes, the fears arise, and the unknown next step is called into question. On the ground, a NephCure walk where friends and family tie on their best running shoes and put their feet to the pavement in support of a cause. In the boardroom, people who work for an organization committed to finding a cure by recruiting pharmaceutical companies and researchers, which has led to 28 active and promising clinical trials. In Albany, when Congressman Ed Rao advocates, passes, and declares March 27th Nephrotic Syndrome Awareness Day. At work, a boss or coworker who donates their vacation time so that me and my wife can spend 2 or 3 extra days by our son's side in the hospital. At home, a daughter who stands up for her brother and reminds us as parents that play for her and her brother is the best medicine of all. A wife or a spouse who will leave no stone unturned until all options have been explored. A son who deserves a superhero cape for the courage and strength he demonstrates every day. Now, my son wanted to say a few words, and I'm going to give this mic over to him, but I hope it comes low enough, so come on up here, Aidan. Actually, let's do this. Even better. Nice and tall, nice and low. Jay is right over there, okay?
I'm so happy to have met my new friend, Mr. Badami. I had a great day with him. He showed me around his office, let me put a hard hat on, and talk to me about all the wonderful buildings his company designs throughout the world. It's people like my new friend, Mr. Badami, and all of you that will one day find a cure for me and many others. NephCure rocks!
And finally, in closing, here in New York City, for the men and women who are here tonight, just like Jay Badami, who decided to sponsor and support Countdown for a Cure, rallying their friends, family, and loved ones to take action and offer what they can to make a difference in their lives of patients here in New York and throughout the world. These are the many helping hands who demonstrate God's love, the greatest medicine of all. Thank you, and God bless. Now let's go fund a cure.